everyone, and welcome to the Dribble podcast, your home for basketball in WA, with an inside look at both the Perth Wildcats and Perth Lynx throughout the 2021-22 seasons. My name is Craig O'Donoghue from the West Australian newspaper, and throughout the year, I'll be joined by a host of guests to provide you with as much insight and entertainment as your basketball brain can handle. In this episode, we are fortunate to have two huge names as guests. We will start with one of the most exciting players in Australia, Luke Travers from the Perth Wildcats, and then speak to Perth Lynx recruit and Australian Opal, Lauren Scherf. But firstly, wasn't that something to start the season by the Perth Wildcats? No Mitch Norton, no Todd Blanchfield, no Michael Fraser II, and then Matt Hodgson broke down with a calf injury after just 70 seconds on Friday night. You could almost hear the critics from around the nation who had written off Perth during the pre-season pouring themselves a drink to toast and celebrate the downfall of the mighty Wildcats empire. But Vic Law produced 37 points and absolutely lit up RAC Arena as Perth beat Adelaide 85-73. Not only that, Majuk was absolutely outstanding and produced an unfathomable comeback from an Achilles surgery. It takes months to walk without pain following an Achilles operation. It takes longer to get rid of the mental demons, and Majuk had 5 offensive rebounds among 12 boards in his first game back. It was truly stunning. Then on Sunday, the Wildcats destroyed Cairns 90-67. This time it was the Bryce Cotton Show with 31 points, and Scott Morrison coined the new nickname for his combination of Cotton and Law as Vice. They are going to be exhilarating to watch. And then there was this man.
Travers all the way. Oh my goodness. Remember the name, ladies and gentlemen. Luke Travers is having a series to remember.
Yes, Luke Travers was superb, amassing 13 rebounds, and Rockingham's finest is sitting next to me right now. Welcome to the Dribble podcast.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
So it was a crazy build-up to the game. It was crazy build-up to both games, not really knowing who was playing. When did you know that you were going to start?
I think, sort of through pre-season I've been, starting at the 3. So then sort of knowing that it was sort of starting to click as well, and then going into that first game, training with the Stars and stuff. I think, spoke to Scott as well, and then, it gave me that confidence that, I'd be starting, and gave me that, sort of knowing that I'd be there just to be ready.
So you started 20 times last year. It was a really unique sort of year, in and out at different times. How is it different for you this time round? I
think, knowing that I have a bit bigger of a role going through the start of the season last year, was starting at the 4 was a little bit, didn't really know where to fit in and stuff. So then, it gave me that confidence towards the end of the year when I started and Bryce went down, gave me that confidence going into this year, that, bigger role and stuff. So knowing that I can be one of those playmakers as well. So, just sort of, learning from that last year towards the end was definitely a good preparation for this year. So last week we had Danny Mills in here, and he said that he sat yourself down, and Scott Morrison sat you down as well, and said, we've got NBA experience, use us, learn from us. What have you taken from those conversations? I guess, with Scott, he was lead scout for Philadelphia for 7 years, I think, something he said. So I think, just sort of using him, he's been looking for the prospects going through the draft and stuff. So just sort of picking his brain on what the scouts are looking for, things like that. And then also, like Vic and Scott as well, been there for a long time. So just sort of, I guess I think experience is the biggest lesson in life. So just sort of, trying to pick their brains on the experiences they've had, for sure.
You're obviously developing under the big lights on the big stage with big roles. Scott was asked about what his hopes and dreams are for you and how he sees you developing. He was asked this about the game after the game the other night. Let's have a listen to what he said now, and then we'll get your reaction.
His strengths right now definitely include his rebounding and his playmaking. I think he could be a little bit more aggressive with the ball and be a little bit more keen to be a playmaker. I think sometimes he defers, just his natural personality. But in a number of games this season, he's stepped up in the second half, especially, and we've got guys good looks. We need that third or fourth playmaker. Teams are going to come in here and really key on Bryce and Vic. And we got to have guys that can get other people's shots when that happens, and he's someone that can do that.
What are your thoughts when you hear that?
I think, I agree 100%. I think, Bryce and Vic are going to get a lot of attention going through the year. So just sort of being that third guy that can, make a play. And then, obviously my passing, I think, is one of my biggest strengths as well. So, taking guys off the dribble and just finding the open man, I think, is definitely something I want to do as well, for sure.
And being the extra scorer, like how there's a challenge, isn't there, between do I pass or do I go? Like how are you going and making those sorts of decisions?
I think that's just the nature of being a playmaker. It's either you score or you playmake for someone else. But I think just being that third guy that can get a bucket or go get someone else a bucket as well. Just being that third guy for sure is just got to find that balance for sure.
It's amazing. Like, you're only 20. You're starting and you're working through all these different things. People just assume people have talent. They'll go out there and they'll play. But there's a hell of a lot to think about and to process as you're attempting to play as well, isn't there?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's basketball's half of it's the mental side as well. Being mentally prepared for all that sort of stuff, the noise outside as well. You sort of block it out and find the balance between mental side and then also the physical side playing basketball as well. So just find that balance for sure. Being at a young age is a big key for me for sure.
As you were listening to the Scott audio, when he mentioned your personality, you nodded and smiled. And I remember we were at the airport last year during the finals, and you did a press conference, and you mentioned you're a naturally anxious sort of person. How do you handle that anxiety?
I think that was a big thing for me over the past probably 3 years. Was my anxiety was pretty bad at times, but I think it's something I've learned for sure. Sort of just knowing that things are going to happen, you're going to go through some stuff as well. So I think naturally, like even stuff like this, probably 2 years ago, would have tried to shy away from it or something. But sort of just accepting that things happen as well. So just sort of blocking it out and getting better at that for sure is a big key for me over this past 2 years. It's
a big step, isn't it? Like I remember interviewing you 2 years ago, and you could barely get boo out of you. Like, and you said, "I'm sorry, this isn't me." Like, how big a challenge is it to overcome these anxieties and realize this is what you're going to want to do for a hell of a long time?
Yeah, I think, like I said before, experience is the best lesson. I think just sort of getting out of your comfort zone and just experiencing it, and then knowing that you can do it as well. Like just same with pretty much everything in life. You just got to experience it and then you learn from it. So I think just doing all those things, and then naturally it just as you get older as well, get more confident and stuff like that. So I think just doing it. You just got to get it out there and sort of learn from it for sure.
Anxiety can cripple people, really. Like it can turn them from a superstar into a nothing in this blink of an eye. So when did you realise it was something you were going to have to work with? When did you start noticing, as a young bloke or coming through, that you weren't naturally comfortable in certain environments?
I think, high school was pretty bad as well. I think like even just speeches, stuff like that at school, I would shy away from, try and get out of any chance I could. And then my first year as a development player, I was missing trainings as well, getting to the point where I actually felt sick from the anxiety as well, scared to make mistakes and stuff. So I think that first year I learned that was something I needed to work on. And we have a psychologist at the Wildcats, Sandy, who is in there twice a week as well. So I think that was a big thing from my first year, and then sort of just learned from it there through him as well. Just sort of gave me some techniques to work on, and it was massive for me that first year.
So Sandy Gordon is a big name in psychology throughout, and sports psychology throughout WA. What lessons and advice was he specifically giving you? Because there'll be people sitting at home going, "I'm you.
Yeah,
I feel this way too."
Yeah, I think it was a big thing for me was this. It was an app on my phone. It was called Worry Time or something like that. So it was just you take 5 minutes out of your day and you just write down what you're worried about that day, and you sort of you know it's there, but it's in the back of your mind at that certain time then. So I just went on probably every day I was going on 30-minute walks with my dog, just writing it down every day. So I think that was huge for me for sure. And it got me through that first year, and now it's better than it's ever been. So
it takes courage to step onto a sporting field in any way, I reckon, whether you're playing under 10s or whether you're playing senior sport or at your level. When you knew you were struggling with that, did you ever think, I can't play sport? Or was it your sanctuary where you could go away and go, I love it out here as long as I'm playing my own way?
Yeah, for sure. I think basketball, even when I was a kid, just playing domestics, things like that, you're out there and you're not thinking about anything. You just think about, winning the game or something like that. So I think that was just my massive escape, as well as probably video games as a kid as well. Just when I was playing that, just didn't think about anything besides what you're doing. So I think that was definitely massive for me growing up.
So we see coaches have to understand their players, don't they, and not trigger them in any way in different ways. Yeah. Trev was really hard on you last year, and it worked. We saw what the benefits were. But did it work for you during games? Were you stressing out to the max when he'd pull you after 3 minutes sometimes?
I think no. At the start, it was sort of what I needed to learn as well. Like, obviously, I'm trying to get better at basketball at the same time. But yeah, I think that was definitely helped me throughout the year. And then towards the end, he gave me that confidence back as well. So then, yeah, he just sort of took me on and didn't really worry about that too much, and he just let me play, which was, I mean, it's huge for me towards the end of the year for sure.
So what's Scott's approach towards things? If you make a blue, is he pretty quick at letting you know about it, or does he let you work your way back? Everyone's got their different approaches towards things.
I think, yeah, if it's a pretty big mistake, he'll let you know about it. But, yeah, if it's just a little one, he'll sort of let you know a little bit. But, yeah, he's not too harsh on it as well, so he lets you sort of play it out and make up for it for sure.
Let's talk a bit about your NBA dream. You're really hopeful of being able to get drafted in 2022. Yep. Where do you see yourself sitting in that dream at the moment?
I think it's steadily growing slowly, but I think, got a long season, something like 28 games and then finals as well, so it's got a long way to go, so hopefully can keep going up the ranks for sure. And then, but sort of just, I think a big thing for me this year as well is finding the balance of, the goal is to win a championship this year as well. So I think if I can contribute to this team winning as well, I think the results will sort of take care of itself for the rankings and stuff. So, yeah, just sort of trying to find that balance. You
look taller, you look a bit different in body shape as well. How are you a different athlete today than what you were 12 months ago?
I think a huge thing I did for the off-season was working on not only, I think I've put on 5 kilos from last year as well, but also my calves as well. I think I'm jumping higher than I ever have in my life as well. So just sort of taking everything to the next level. Obviously the age as well, slowly growing as well. But I think, the huge thing was just strength in everything. So, yeah, I'm in probably the best shape of my life right now as well.
So how tall are you right now?
I am 204 centimetres, so 6'8", almost 6'9".
And what were you when you were that development player first year? Do you remember?
I think I was probably just 6'7", so I was still growing a little bit, but hopefully still growing as well.
People don't grow at 20. It's a unique situation where you're trying to develop your craft, but you're getting bigger and you're having to adjust to arms getting bigger and legs getting bigger, and the aches and pains that would come from that too, I would have thought. Yeah,
I think, from a young age, I think I didn't grow till I was about probably 14, 15. It just sort of all came out of nowhere. I think I grew about maybe 2 or 3 inches in maybe a month. So it was pretty crazy then, and I was very sore. I remember it. I tried to play a domestic game while I was sick at that time that I was growing, and it just didn't work out. So I think, from 15, I've been growing and getting body aches from it as well. So it's just sort of my nature, I guess.
You were really hopeful this year, I should say, the end of last season, of being able to go to America and do some workouts and practice some things and try to impress some scouts. But obviously the border situation didn't allow that to happen. How disappointing was it to build it up in your mind and then be told, nah, sorry, you can't do this? Yeah,
I think it was pretty disappointing. I was supposed to go the year before as well, but obviously that was when COVID was at its worst. But sort of calmed down a little bit, and then towards the end of the season we made the grand final, obviously, and then coming back from Melbourne had to 2 weeks quarantine, and then I would have went to America then and then come back and had to do another 2 weeks, which I think I would have been in America for maybe 3 weeks, so there was just no point of it at that time. So yeah, it was definitely disappointing. Gonna go work out with a guy called Jordan Lawley, who would have been awesome for my development as well. So yeah, a bit disappointing, but I think I'll be able to go this year for sure.
So where specifically in America do you want to go to?
I think it's LA. We always, Agent Moldovan, he's always got his clients in LA, California. So pretty exciting for sure. Wouldn't mind going there.
You've obviously been watching Giddy's performances and he's been doing some amazing things. When you watch him, what goes through your head? Do you get the chills and do you think, that's where I want to be? Or how inspiring is it?
I think, yes, definitely inspiring, but it sort of gives you that inspiration that you can do it. Like he's done it here, played in the NBL and killed it. Same with LaMelo Ball as well, going over there now in the NBA, and it's all translated over. So knowing that you can sort of do it in the NBA as well as the NBL definitely gives you that confidence to do it for sure.
We saw their skill sets sort of change as the NBL seasons went. LaMelo got a couple of triple doubles, and then Josh did the same thing last year. Your rebounding is already at an absolute level where you're going to be able to pull in big numbers in there. What do you focus on from here? Is it the assist side of the game, the scoring side of the game? What do you think is the next thing you want to tweak before you build the other one after that?
I think, rebounding sort of just my natural sort of thing to do, just go in there and crash the board. So I think that's just all going to be there at all the time. So I think it's, finding that balance between, being aggressive, making plays for other people, but also going to get a bucket when we need it, when, they're doubling Bryce or doubling Vic or anything like that. So just sort of, finding that balance of not only playmaking for others, but also, going to get a bucket as well. So I think that's them two are definitely the big things for me right now.
Are you conscious of the need to be able to hit the three-pointer as much as possible, given it looks like Scott's approach to the game is we're either going to the basket or we're hitting threes and that's it?
Yeah, so, I think that's been a massive thing for me as well this off-season. But, I've been shooting the ball pretty well at training and stuff. It's just, game pressure, I think, for sure. So a big thing for me, being a pretty anxious person, just sort of when I'm open, got to shoot it and, hopefully make it. But, I think it's just a big thing for me was game pressure, just sort of adapting to that right now is a big thing.
So is that half a second that you get where you are open? Because that's all it is. It's literally half a second, but it feels like an eternity.
Yeah.
How long does that feel in your head when you look around and go, I've got miles of space here, even though it's only half a step?
Yeah, I think like the one in the corner at the start of the game on Sunday, I think, felt like I had probably 3 seconds, but really I got it up in probably 0.5 seconds. So, just sort of, adapting to that sort of man's league sort of thing. Just sort of, you don't really have that much space to what you think you do.
And when you look at the anxiety part of it and worrying about what the future can mean and stuff, Twitter, Instagram, me, newspapers, everyone when you go to get a coffee, some people are slapping you on the back, all that sort of stuff. Do you get stuck thinking and reading that sort of stuff, or are you just, I'm not even looking at it because it's going to drive me crazy? Yeah,
I think for me, it's pretty bad. I think social media is, as big as it's ever been. I think it's a huge thing for every sport right now. Everyone talking on Twitter and stuff like that. So I think it's definitely something I need to work on. I've said it, multiple times, but sort of just finding that balance of not looking at that stuff. And if I want to scroll on Instagram or something like that, just sort of, blocking all that stuff out, not looking at comments and stuff like that. So it's definitely something I need to work on.
You were a young bloke last year we talk about a man's league. There was an experienced team. You look at this group at the moment. You're out on a court the other day with Kyle Zunic and Ollie Hayes-Brown and Mitch Clark was out there as well. It's a really interesting sort of mix that you've got blokes around your age who you can hang with and experience different things with. Does that help this year already that it's a different sort of dynamic?
Yeah, I guess. It's a bunch of young guys, a bunch of new guys as well. So just sort of, I think, this is my third year. I feel like one of the older ones as well. So just sort of, giving off to those younger guys and sort of, just learning from the older guys as well and pushing on to the younger guys and the new guys as well. So I think it's, perfect little balance we've got here. And, Wags has been here for 20 odd years, if you say that. But I think he's just given off to the young guys and it's all just sort of working well right now.
The last 2 minutes of the game the other day, you're all out there together. It was a rough couple of minutes, it's fair to say. That when young blokes all come together, it's never going to be as simple as what it all sounds like. It'll be great. We'll put them all out there together. Yeah. What did you all discuss after the game?
I think it was a huge thing for last year as well. Got the young guys on. We sort of let the foot off the gas pedal. So I think, just sort of not being complacent and comfortable with the lead and stuff. You still got to play there, trying to get back in the game as well. And so I think, just sort of still taking the game on for sure is a big thing for us young guys as well.
A couple of personal things. The mullet, let's talk about the mullet because everyone loves a mullet at the moment. It appears. Where did the idea to go with that come from? Because everyone, it's a fashion trend, let's face it, but not everyone wants it themselves. Yeah,
I think it's a huge trend right now. I think it's all back in fashion as well. So, I've had long hair pretty much, I want to say the last 6 years. So I thought it was, time to change it up a little bit, sort of keep it short at the front. It was getting in my face as well. So, going short at the front and then just leaving the back was something, an option I wanted to go with. So, it's going to be around for a while, I think.
The tattoo, the barbed wire tattoo on the arm, what does that mean?
It's also another anxiety thing. So, it's sort of, I think it means you've got through something like pretty hard in life. So, I think that was a huge thing for me, anxiety. Obviously, gotten a lot better with it for sure. So, I think that was, the main meaning behind it.
So it was really important for you to get that so you could look down and recognise the battles that you've had in the past.
Yeah, just to, sort of remember it back in 2 years ago when it was at its worst, and now gotten through it. So just sort of knowing that you've gotten through it and you don't need to worry so much about it.
Number 23, you've won 4, you've won 10, you've won
Yeah.
10. Why the change suddenly this year?
I think, 10 was my Australia number, but 23 was taken at that time by Tariko White. So then the next year, obviously, the 4 was the new thing for the WA young kids. And then obviously you wear it for a year and then you pass it on. Also, like, sort of giving it as an inspiration to the younger guys coming through, the WA kids, that they can one day wear that number 4. And then number 23, I lost my cousin when I was, almost 5 years ago, when he was turning 23. So I think that was pretty special to me. I've always worn 23 for that reason as well. So that was pretty big thing for me. So now that 23 was open, it was definitely an option for me.
So it must be special to pull it on every single game then and just look down and realise that he's there with you. Yeah,
I tried doing that last year with JH on my shoes as well. So knowing that now I can just put it on my jersey and see that before every game is pretty special to me.
How did you find the build-up to the basketball season with the footy on over here and your good mate, Luke Jackson, running around and winning the flag for the Ds?
I mean, it was pretty cool to see, and also gives you inspiration for sure. Seeing him win a premiership at 20 as well, which was unbelievable. So giving that inspiration that you want to win a championship now with NBL, and the Wildcats being such a successful team, and so just an unbelievable organisation, winning a championship at 20 as well. Sort of, wanted to do it for sure, and seeing him do it as well, killing it in the AFL, winning a premiership at 20 was pretty cool to see.
I assume you got your tickets for the grand final?
I did, yeah. So pretty good seats, and it was a pretty good day.
Define pretty good seats for people. You clearly weren't on the top level. I reckon you would have been on the wing somewhere, probably level 2 or something like that.
I was actually right behind the goals, and they were going that way in the fourth quarter, so it was pretty cool to see because, that second half they put on a clinic, so it was pretty cool.
Don't suppose you tried to mark Tom McDonald's goal after the siren? Were you right near that ball?
No, I actually moved so a bunch of mates that we went to school with, he was on the wing, so we all sort of met up there on the wing as well, which was really good. They were right on the sideline as well, so all met up on the sideline as well, which was even better. All of us went to school together. Now watching him win an AFL premiership was special to see.
It's epic, absolutely amazing. You got Brisbane on Sunday. They're already in town, trying to avoid the potential for border closures with Queensland. What's it going to take to make it 3-0 as you come up against the Bullets?
I think both got a week to prepare. They're here, getting some practice in and preparing for us, and we've got a week as well preparing for them. So it's going to be a very good game. But we played them in the Blitz and they got the better of us, but I think we'll be more ready to go this time for sure.
Well, we have a segment here on the Dribble called This or That, and you can't sit on the fence. You've got to make a decision either way. And what we're saying for the question this week is every sport has its cultures and its unwritten rules, and one of the most contentious in basketball is whether to dribble out the clock or take the final shot. We saw Vic Law attempt to dunk with a couple of seconds to go the other night. What do you prefer, dribble out the clock or play till the final buzzer?
That's a very tough one. I think, play to the end. You just got to, everyone's there to play for, play for the win as well. So I think, just playing to the end, whether it's a close game or not. I think, the big thing is just play it out.
And it should be worth noting also that in the NBL, the ladder rules do say that percentage plays a part. If teams are locked together, like the AFL, points for, points against, so you want to make the most of every single opportunity to score. Well, look, thank you very much for coming in. I really appreciate it. I know this isn't your favourite thing to do, and it can be challenging for you, and you've spoken really openly and honestly about that, and I think there'll be a lot of people at home who will listen to this going, I understand my own situation now and can take a hell of a lot for you. So thank you very much for coming in. Enjoy the rest of your night. You're off to a cooking expedition with a few people, so I'm sure you'll enjoy that as well.
Yep, something else out of my comfort zone for sure, cooking, so definitely not my strong suit, but we'll see how it goes.
Brilliant. We'll enjoy that, and we'll look forward to watching you for the rest of the season.
Thanks for having me.
And now it's time to enter the lair with this lady.
Scherf with the bounce pass, swung by Belgium, back out to Scherf. She's dangerous from here. Bangs down the triple, Lauren Scherf. Breakout season or a breakout moment from Lauren Scherf. She may be having it right here.
Yes, she is a Perth Lynx recruit. She is the 2015 WNBL Rookie of the Year, a WNBL Championship winner, and an Australian Opal. She is Lauren Scherf. Lauren, it's been a big week for you after being named in the 24-player squad for the World Cup. That must be a real thrill.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be on this show, yeah.
Tell me about your week. Like, what was it like it's obviously what everyone wants to be part of. What's it like when you get named finally? Because you would have hoped you'd be in there, but you just never know.
Yeah, well, when I found out, obviously I was over the moon. I was so excited. And then I I was actually, because my roommate is Alex Sharp, so I was just waiting, to see what she was, if she was in. And once she got told she was in, we were both like just screaming, just doing whatever, just so happy for one another. So, yeah, it was a really exciting moment.
So it's a really strong squad. 19 of the players were either selected for Tokyo or the recent Asia Cup, and you were part of that Asia Cup team, and so was Alex Sharp, he mentioned, along with Darcy Garvin. Everyone hopes that a person who might become a teammate of yours soon, we all hope Sammy Whitcomb will become a Perth Lynx player, and she's in that squad as well. What's it going to take to get into this final team, do you reckon?
Well, I know it's going to take a lot of hard work and, to be able to be an Opal, you've got to be in peak condition. You're basically playing for the best of the best. So you want to be, right up there, hardworking, you just want to be there for your teammates. It's an honour to always put on the green and gold.
Now, you're a big unit. You're 196 centimetres and a powerful athlete, and the biggest talking point around the squad was Liz Cambage's omission, and you're obviously going to be playing in that role, or trying to play in that role, get that spot. And while personally I think it's a good decision for the Opals to move on from the controversies that follow her, when you look at it, do you go, well, she's not there, it improves my chances?
Yes and no. I see it as like an opportunity. And to go up against, Mariana Tolo, Kayla George, there's still elite players in this squad that, have been through, done the Olympics and everything. So obviously, the spot is not guaranteed. So I still have to work hard and, be able to show that, I'm committed and want to do this. Yeah.
So when you come up against, obviously Tolo's not in the league this year, but you know her very, very well, having played with her for a while. When you come up against players who you know are competing for those spots throughout this season, will you be really conscious of the fact that it's a bit of a watershed moment where if you play well against them, you're saying to Sandy Brondello, pick me?
Yes and no. I kind of go into games just, worrying about, what the scout is at the time and, not actually just really focusing on, not overthinking it. I want to go into a game, calm, relaxed, not too stressed about what's going to happen. I just take it as it comes. And I mean, obviously, yes, there's other players in the squad that play for other teams, but at the end of the day, I'm just going in there trying to play my best and not worrying about too much, all the other factors.
So you're hitting probably the prime of your career over the next couple of years. Can you sense a bit of a changing in the guard within Australian basketball and an opportunity for the next wave? 6 members of that Olympic team were over 30, so they're not going to be around in 4 years' time. Is this an opportunity now to start building towards what can become the next Olympic team, and you can build from potentially the World Cup in 2022 to trying to get into that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's partly why I came to Perth Lynx, because I know that they have such a professional environment. From their coaches down to, just the whole entire staff here. The reason I think I came here was just because of the environment that it was going to lead me towards, to be able to be selected for these teams. So, if I put myself in a good position physically and mentally, then hopefully the rest will just, work together.
You're a really interesting athletic sort of person, I reckon. We talk about your size, and you're this powerful person, but you spent probably 6 to 8 months with the 3-on-3 squad. So we don't normally see people your size playing in those sorts of games. What did that do for your development to be playing in a really agile sort of a sport where you can work on different skills?
I absolutely loved it. With Dave and Damon, they just want hardworking, grit people. So I think being able to, improve my game by playing against not just, people my size, but smaller athlete, more agility, just people that are more quicker than me. So being able to do that has definitely improved my game. not just inside but also outside on the perimeter, being able to defend guards and just being a lot stronger just with myself in the post as well, and being able to finish tough shots underneath the rim because, in a 3-on-3 game, even though finishes mean a lot, yeah.
I find your move really interesting to the Lynx. I reckon they've been hanging out for someone who can play like yourself. They've had players in the past who are tall but don't necessarily have the athleticism, or who are tall and don't have the power. You've got that combination of the three, I reckon, and you've destroyed them many, many times. We've watched you and absolutely tear them apart. I mean, you've averaged 13 points and 8 rebounds from your last 5 games against them, including a game of 19 points and 11 rebounds last year. When Ryan called you and said, hey, you want to move over to the Lynx, did you sense that he was saying, I don't want to play against you anymore?
I mean, you might have got a bit sick of playing against me or coaching against me. Can't really say. But when Ryan called, just the way that he spoke and, what he had to offer, and just the kind of coach that he was, and, in the team that he was putting together, I just couldn't say no. Yeah.
So what have you noticed about the team so far? It's got a hell of a lot of talent. Where do you fit into how they're going to play?
So we're very fast. We're very transition. We've got really quick speed guards. Very high IQ. So being able to play off them, and I see myself, obviously, yes, I'm a dominant post player, but if I can also drag out the big, it gives the guard a laneway because I'm also able to shoot from the outside, just like Darcy Garbin. We work really well together just because, she can shoot from the outside, she can also score in the post, so we make a good team that way as well.
Now, we've mentioned how big you are a couple of times, and I know big people don't like. I'm a short person. I don't like being told I'm short, but big people don't like being told they're big. But there is something about you which I find really unique for someone who's 196 centimetres, and that is you like to be a jockey. Tell us about your love of horses.
Oh, wow. So I've grown up horse riding. So my nan used to own a bunch of horses when she was growing up, and she kind of just kind of passed that down onto us, me and my cousins. So I used to horse ride, and then when I was playing juniors, it kind of stopped just because, I was just busy playing basketball. And then recently, when I've been at home, being in lockdown and stuff, I just kind of felt found my love of, riding horses again. And and it's just a really good way to, switch off the brain from basketball and, yeah.
So how many horses do you own, and how big are they? And talk us through the process of owning a horse.
Oh, my nan actually owns a horse. So where she adjusts her horse, there's a couple of horses there on the property. So I just ride those horses just because I don't have time to actually look after a horse just with how busy my basketball schedule is. So when I can, the owners that own the horses, they allow me to just ride and do whatever and look after the horses, whether that's grooming, feeding, whatever. And I really enjoy it. It's just a really good way to just, not think about basketball. Yeah.
So you grew up, you're a suburban person rather than a country person. Where are we talking where you do all this in Victoria when you're back home?
So it's still it's around the Kilsyth area. Yeah. Croydon, Kilsyth, yeah.
So we're talking about 30. It's about 30k from the city then.
Yeah, not too far. Yeah.
And have you found anything in Perth that you're able to do something similar?
So my GM hooked me up with this with a guy that does horse racing. So I was able to go down there and just look after the horses, just help out. It's just really nice to just be able to, not just concentrate on basketball when, and just it's just some downtime. Yeah.
So I believe I know the name of the person that you're referring to who you went down to have some time with. Can you want to drop a name that people can pick up off the ground and go, we know that name?
You can definitely say it.
Are we talking about former Fremantle Docker Hayden Ballantyne?
We are.
So Brent Dawkins, the GM, used to be the recruiting manager or one of the recruiters at the Fremantle Football Club, hence his knowledge of Hayden. How did you go with Hayden?
Yeah, no, he was a cool dude. He was really cool. You know, he was just like, yeah, come along, you know, watch them train. And yeah, he's just been really good about it. So I've really enjoyed him and his staff. So yeah, they make it really pleasant to be down there.
So is that a relationship you think you'll try to build upon to spend more time with the horses when you do get an opportunity to do things, so you can have that escape from your sport?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I would love to keep going down there, and yeah, hopefully in the future something can happen. I mean, yeah, I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
So the WNBL season began last weekend. While the Lynx won't start until January due to our closed border, there were a couple of games, with Southside Flyers beating the Bendigo Spirit 94-83 and the University of Canberra Capitals defeating Sydney Uni Flames 58-55. Ironically, they're three of the teams you've played for. So I'd imagine you would have had a good look at both teams, both games. What did you think of it?
Yeah, no, so they were both really good games. I mean, they were tough. That's to be expected, being in the WNBL. I mean, I thought, you know, all teams, they kind of had a few rough patches at the start, but then they finally got their flow. And I mean, it's going to be a good season. I mean, it's going to be tough, but it's going to be good as well. It's going to be great to watch.
It's a big week for the Lynx, with an open training session and an autograph session on Friday at the Bendak Basketball Centre starting from 3 p.m. And that will be the first chance for your fans to see people like yourself and Marina Mabry and Jackie Young as recruits this year, but also a wonderful opportunity to see Darcy Garvin and Alex Sharp, who they didn't see any of last year because of the entire season being spent in a hub. How much is everyone looking forward to finally having some contact with your fans?
Yeah, no, I think it's going to be really good for us to be able to, you know, actually be able to just relate to people and just be able to have fans at home as well. I mean, I know our first home game isn't until the 20th of Feb, but, you know, everyone loves the Lynx, and I know that, you know, Perth Lynx is such a good club, and I'm just excited to be able to meet the fans and, you know, just chat to them, you know, hear about their lives and what they love about the Perth Lynx. And yeah, it's going to be really good. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Now, we have a segment here on the Dribble podcast called This or That. You're not allowed to sit on the fence. You have to come up with an actual answer. And
Okay.
this week's question is, every sport has its cultures and unwritten rules, and one of those is, what do you do in the end of a game? Do you dribble out the clock, or do you play to the buzzer and take the last shot? And we saw Vic Law try a dunk for the Wildcats with a couple of seconds remaining in the game against Adelaide the other night. What do you prefer to see to happen? Do you think people should dribble out the clock or play to the buzzer?
I mean, if the score's, obvious, I would say just dribble the ball out. But that's coming from a basketball player. But, I mean, obviously fans would probably want to see what happens. But I would say dribble the ball out, yeah.
Very good. Well, look, thank you very much for joining us on the Dribble podcast, Lauren. We really appreciate it, and we hope everyone keeps logging on to thewest.com.au for all their basketball news. They can pick up your copy of the West Australian newspaper every single day as well. We thank Luke Travers for joining us earlier. We thank Lauren Scherf now for joining us as well. And thanks to Samantha Rogers for all of her outstanding production work here on the desk. Log on to thewest.com.au for all your basketball news. This has been the Dribble podcast, and we'll be back next week.